And that's not this week's. It says 12. And we're live. Hey, we're live now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14. That's right, not 13, because 13 is an unlucky number. You don't see that on an elevator, so we're skipping it too. Well,
No,
not
but
really.
it says 13. Don't do that. You confuse me.
I love confusing you.
God,
Fine.
I already told you this week was bad.
We'll be the Unlucky Podcast. Welcome to episode Unlucky 13 of Spectator Mode. I am, of course, your unlucky host, JJ Piedra, Joshua Jeremiah. And speaking of unlucky, the man who's had a pretty unlucky week himself, Mr. Keith Mitchell, is here. What's up, Keith?
Hey, guys. What's up? What's up, everybody listening out there on Twitch? Hey, this week has just been complete bonkers. I have not really played many games. I have not been really following any news. I had a meltdown on Twitter. I had a meltdown at home. Depression is a bad thing. If you have depression, get help.
That's why I watch anime. The 2D girls take all the depression away until they stop, and then
I don't even think Gundam can help me. Oh man, the rabbit hole just keeps going and going and going. God, I'll get better, but damn, it just kicking the nuts, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get there. We all do. It only lasts for a little bit, and then bam, back to normal. So give it time.
But I do sound better. You said I sound better because I picked up a preamp, so that's some good news.
Absolutely. Also, some good news, and possibly not so unlucky, is Mr. Diego Perez, who's with us because he was lucky enough to play with his Oculus all week. You think he's going to tell us about it later, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't wait.
So basically, besides the Oculus, what have you been playing, or has it just been that?
Nothing new for the most part. Just the Oculus. I hopped back into some Battlefield 5 for a while. That's nothing much changed with that.
I was gonna say, do people still play that game?
It's still populated. I mean, it's nowhere near as popular as other Battlefield entries, but it's got players, and there's some content dropping every week. So
okay,
I hop back in every now and then. But other than that, not really anything else besides the Oculus.
Yeah,
a lot of quests.
I'm still playing Hearthstone. Matter of fact, right before this podcast came on the air, I was actually playing Heroic Mode, Dalaran Heist Chapter 2, and once again got all the way to the end boss thinking I had a shot and got my shit pushed in. Thank you, RNGesus, for fucking me right up the ass.
Hey, man, you play Blizzard games. You should be very familiar with that.
And used to it. Of, Blizzard games, I also got invited to the WoW Classic stress test, not the beta, unfortunately. But I did hop on for that. You can only go to level 5, and yeah, it brought back a lot of memories. Not seeing the quest markers on the minimap, not having any direction where to go at quests, actually having to read the quest to find out where you're going, buying your spells from a trainer, running out of mana, all this great stuff.
Oh, you mean the same stuff we talked about last week, that nostalgia is a really crazy and powerful drug, and that classic is not all it's cracked up to be?
Actually, believe it or not, this is the funny thing, is apparently this is going to be a bigger hit than we thought, because at the end of the stress test, Blizzard decided to end it beautifully by summoning 2 patchworks in Stormwind to kill us all. And as it was happening, you just saw general and trade chat being spammed by people going, "Thank you, Blizzard, bring us beta, thank you, thank you, thank you." They were actually thanking Blizzard for this experience, because a lot of people were saying that this is the way World of Warcraft should be, a slower, more methodical game with more danger to it. And
you'll never see anything else unless Blizzard decides to change their pathing, which I don't see happening.
No, I mean, they've been down the rabbit hole too long now. I mean, the casualization started with Wrath of the Lich King, which came out 11-ish years ago, something like that. And ever since then, they've added layer upon layer of systems to the game to make it easier and easier for players. And honestly, you can't really fault them, because appealing to as many type of gamers as possible, they've, made millions off of that shit. I mean, they had at one point 12 million subs because of it. So obviously it's a formula that works, but there's that niche crowd who want something harder, that wants a challenge back. And modern World of Warcraft, that doesn't do that. And the classic server that's going to be coming out on August 27th, I believe it is, provides that option to those players, and they're thankful for it. So, I even brought up the idea, says, what if, and this is probably a huge no because of the amount of work that would go into it, they released expansion after expansion on the progression server, but redid every expansion if it was like still classic. So like Cataclysm would never dumb down the talent trees, or there would be no flying added like it was in Burning Crusade. It just everything stayed on the ground. Gave it more of a classic feel, and it would be interesting to see how like maybe like Legion or how Battle for Azeroth would be in a classic setting versus a modernized version.
See, that's the problem. It's never going to happen. I mean,
No,
if
it won't.
it's nice that they're doing this, but the expectations that aren't being set. It should be, hey guys, this is it. You're never getting anything else. You're not going to get Burning Crusade. You're not going to get anything because it's kind of like if they did that, they'd be retconning everything that they did. And B, you would need to have two teams doing two different branches of World of Warcraft, and it's just never going to happen. Which kind of stinks because you're pretty much stuck in this sandbox forever. Oh, what are we going to do? Let's go raid Naxxramas again and again and again and again and again. At some point, it's going to die out.
Yep. I mean, it's the same problem that's happening now. I mean, content's coming out faster, but after, I'd say like maybe a month and a half, 2 months, guilds are tired of raiding the same raid over and over again. I mean, what's going to happen when all the raids in Classic are your only options for years,
Pretty much. I mean, I'm glad that people are enjoying their nostalgia, but again, this can't last long. But again, Blizzard makes their money and they bring more people back into the fold because they want to drive the nostalgia factor. Then go for it, Blizzard. Take their money. You won't be getting mine though. I'm done.
Yep, pretty much. That's why I always say in Pantheon I trust. Anyway, that's my little Blizzard ramble for the week. Keith, have you been playing anything?
Honestly, other than trying to stay away from depression, I have been playing Dauntless. Dauntless went live for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 on the 21st, and it moved from its standalone launcher to the Epic Game Store launcher. I actually recorded a video to show people how to migrate their accounts over. And other than the couple of issues they're having, mainly they weren't prepared for the masses of people that jump on. It's pretty much a free-to-play Monster Hunter-like game. The game is actually really good. I played Dauntless when it first came out many, many moons ago, and I've been playing every iteration of the game since it came out. And this new release of it is amazing. It's fun. You don't need to know much about the game. You can just jump in, level up, kill monsters. But the cool thing is it has crossplay, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. That's really good. And I've played about 10 games so far because the queues have been crazy. When I did my video and I tried to log on, I had a 3-hour wait. And the wait for people has been going up and going up and going up because they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for the mass of people that want to play this game. It's a lot of fun. They added a better combat system, or they tweaked the combat system. They added a mastery system where you get rewarded for doing certain certain objectives. They took a play out of Fortnite's book where they have a season pass, or what is that they have for? I don't play Fortnite. Yeah, Battle Pass, excuse me. Thank you. So they have that, which is actually really cool. You get more things for meeting certain achievements. It's actually a lot of fun now. And it's free. So people should definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, I've been recording a lot of footage for Sekiro and whatnot. But yeah, it's just Dauntless. It's fun. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah, speaking of you're talking about load times and such, that brings us to another piece of news. Sony actually gets some details on the PlayStation 5, or actually they're just calling it next gen. They're not really calling it PlayStation 5, which is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I've been calling it next gen too. Because nobody has said PlayStation 5.
Yeah, we're just all assuming it's PlayStation 5 because that's obviously the next one in the numerical scheme of things, but could be something completely different.
I mean, look at what Xbox did.
Yeah, that's true. Xbox 360, Xbox One. It's like, okay.
So yeah, they might want to go ahead and just name it something completely different, or PlayStation next gen PlayStation or PlayStation Gen or I don't know something. It may not even have play. I mean, yeah, it'll have PlayStation. It'll be something weird. PlayStation X.
Oh God. Actually, no, because if they do that, PSX was actually the abbreviation for the original PlayStation.
Well, it was the was it that shoot off?
No, that was PS1, PSONE. PSX
No.
was the original PlayStation.
There was a piece of hardware called the PSX. It wasn't the first PlayStation. It was this really it was a digital recorder. Yeah, digital recorder. It had a PlayStation 2, but it was a digital recorder. It was called the PSX.
Oh, well,
it was
something.
It was big and white. It was sort of like the 3DO.
How have I never seen this before? What? I just looked this up.
You've never seen that before?
I've never seen this before.
Yeah. People wanted that thing too. It was expensive.
Only in Japan, looks like.
Yep. But people imported it, as always.
That's so cool.
I think that thing was like $800-900. It was very expensive. But it was just the fact that it could record videos on it, and it had a PlayStation 2 in it, and it was just massive. People were talking about the original Xbox was massive. Oh no, you should see the PSX. That thing was massive.
Yeah. I just looked it up myself. And yeah, you're right. I actually was thinking it was the original PlayStation, but no, you're right. I don't think I would ever buy that.
No.
No.
That's probably why it was Japan only. But again, people imported it because it was the latest and greatest, and they wanted it. So,
just like the iPhone.
There you go. Piece of gaming news or history that you did not know about. I'm full of it.
Or if you did know about it, well, there you go. There's a refresher course for you.
Refresher course, and now you know.
So, anywho, yeah, Sony unleashed some new details about the PlayStation Next Gen console. They basically have put a big focus on backwards compatibility.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Nobody likes to play old games.
Well,
nobody likes retro games.
So because they're going for it. And the one thing that's making it possible, they're saying, is their solid-state hard drive, because according to them, that the load time's a lot faster. But we didn't really know that for sure until a leaked video hit the internet. I would say, about a day and a half, 2 days ago, something like that. And it showed, I guess, Sony's presentation prepping for E3 or some sort of maybe state of play thing they're doing. But it had like a side-by-side comparison of a game. I didn't really could tell which one it was. It's probably some random AAA title I don't give a fuck about. Yeah, there you go. A game I don't give a fuck about. Yeah, and I think the PlayStation Next Gen loaded it in like 0.83 seconds, and the regular PS4 Pro took almost like 30 seconds to load. And then they actually did like a fly through a city, and then you could see like the PS4 Pro like trying to like stutter along and render the draw distance, where Next Gen PlayStation 5, let's just call it that to make it, easier. PlayStation 5 just rendered it no problem. I mean, this thing was flying at like 100 frames per second, no problem.
I saw people talk about it, and I did not watch it. So, did they actually show the hardware?
No, it was just gameplay capture.
Yeah, see,
it was the stuff that Mark Cerny talked about whenever they first went into details with the Wired article about PlayStation 5. And he said that Spider-Man could load in 0.8 seconds. And we were all like, okay, whatever, Mark Cerny. Seeing it in action is actually very impressive.
My problem with that is, are we really seeing it in action, or are we seeing it on the PC? The same crap that Microsoft pulled off. Oh, it's this and this. And everybody looked under the cover. I was like, that's not an Xbox. That's a PC guy.
Yeah. I would imagine it's probably still a PC at this point, but it's what they're targeting. Also, this is a current gen game running on supposedly next gen hardware, so I don't know if these load times are going to be representative of what we're going to see with PlayStation 5 games. But still, it's less than a second for Spider-Man loading on this hardware. The fact that that's doable blows my mind.
Yeah.
But it's an SSD. I mean, this to be expected. I mean, that's the whole point of SSDs, is to load shit fast.
You'd be surprised. There are some really poorly optimized games, even on a solid-state drive, that load like crap. I would imagine also, if it's not a PC, it's the architecture which is really driving it, which means that thing is pushing a lot of bandwidth for it to load that fast.
Yeah, they fast travel like instantly. It's insane.
Which means that means two things. new PlayStation is going to have a shit ton of memory because they're loading them. If they're loading it that fast, the game is being loaded into memory. It's not off a hard drive. So that's going to be some amazing news. Or will be amazing when you actually show us the architecture. So running off of memory, and it's some fast memory.
Yeah, Mark Cerny made a big deal about their new solid state technology they're working with for PlayStation 5. He didn't go into much detail about it, but he said they were cooking up some cool stuff with it.
Well, Mark Cerny, he is a pretty sharp guy. I will never say that
smart
he's
dude.
an idiot. He's very intelligent. He talks sometimes, kind of puts you to sleep, but yeah, he's got some really good stuff to talk about. So we'll see.
He's a very smart guy, and he also looks like a guy who could use a lot of sleep too.
But he's he's probably paid for it. He's definitely paid for it. So yeah, he's got the money to back up the talk, and I'm pretty sure from hearing him, he enjoys it. So I don't think he's worried about sleep too much.
Yeah, but it was still hilarious that I forgot what E3 it was. So this was a couple of years back. He just came out and started talking about stuff, and the guy looked like he was on crack. I mean, I swear to God, there's like bags under his eyes, like bloodshot. The guy looked like he was tweaking like left and right on the stage. It's pretty hilarious. Then you realize he's basically a hardware engineer, and like, oh, that explains it. Hardware engineers and programmers, they got the same look.
But I've never seen John Carmack like that though. Formerly of its software. He was always
because like John Carmack pays people to do his shit for him.
He was always bright-eyed. He was very, very revved up. He was ready to go. You never saw him tired. It was like this dude drank 5 cups of espresso and just goes, never stops. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Well, was because he doesn't work for it anymore, and I'm not really sure what the hell he does anymore with Oculus.
I don't know, but I think he was supposed to like head up part of like their VR like research or something. I don't know. It was some weird like high
Oculus tech.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff for Oculus. You just don't hear from him or of him as much anymore.
Yeah, he was like the driving force behind why the Oculus Quest actually exists.
I miss him. I wish he was making games again.
Right, John Carmack's a legend. Actually, I mean, if you think about it, he was the one who actually developed the way that light reflects off of surfaces in game engines. He's the man responsible for that. So anytime you see something shiny in a game, thank John Carmack.
Thank God, because that's who he was.
He was. Then he went to Oculus. Now he's a Facebook lackey.
Yeah, Facebook lackey.
Anyway, basically, the other piece of news we found out was Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting rebooted, and if you want to hear the amazing title they came up for the game, it's basically Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Reboot the reboot. We need to do more reboots. Honestly, like I said before the podcast, I have not been following this. I haven't cared about Modern Warfare since Modern Warfare 2 and the first Black Ops. I don't care about it. I think I bought not last year's. No, I backed it up. I bought last year's just to play the Blackout mode in Zombies. And I played it maybe 5 or 6 times. And I think the last real Call of Duty I purchased, let me look through Steam here. Which was that? This when they went to space.
Infinite Warfare.
Which one was it?
Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, that's it.
I have yet to buy that one. I also have not bought World War II Call of Duty one yet. The last one I bought was Advanced Warfare, so I got to get my shit together and get caught up.
Just wait till the reboot to see what's going on here. But yeah, there's not a lot of information about it. I've been trying to read it up just now. There's not much out there, so whatever.
It sounds like they're going back to a harder focus on story. It says they're trying to aim for more emotional moments again, but that's mostly just PR speak.
You mean to tell me that Battle Royale didn't work and that maybe single player story focused campaigns are worthwhile and people want those back?
Yeah, I mean, I still think Blackout was wildly successful for them, but the campaign should still be in Call of Duty every year.
Yes,
a lot of people buy it for campaigns,
which a lot of people kept telling them, but they're like, "No, nobody buys this game for a story. Nobody does that."
Yeah, they stopped buying it for the stories because they started getting really bad.
Yeah,
but a return to form to like the original Modern Warfare and 2, and I like 3. I'm one of those guys who likes 3.
I liked
That
it
would
as
be
well.
great. It was a great story, a great trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely. And people are like kind of like upset that they're rebooting it, and I'm like, well, what can they do? They finished the story.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't continue something that's finished unless you're Halo or Gears of War. I mean, come on, let's be real here.
Do a new story?
Yeah, it kind of had to be an original story because Modern Warfare 3 wrapped up the trilogy kind of nicely.
I mean, just
They
do another.
can't go much with it.
Do another story. Do something else. Don't reboot it. Go keep going.
It's. I'm sure it's going to be in the same universe and they'll probably reference the original trilogy because it's a soft reboot, not a full reboot, supposedly. But like
I mean,
at that point, just call it Modern Warfare 4. I don't understand why they have to drop the number.
we don't have to call it Modern Warfare. Just call it something else. I mean, maybe the fact that you're adding a suffix to it is really hurting you. Like, okay, Josh brought up Gears of War. Gears of War is a great example because the first 3 Gears of War were the first portion of Gears of War because it was Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War Judgment, which was shit.
Yeah.
Gears of War 3, and then that wrapped up that segment. Gears of War 4 came out, which is a brand new trilogy.
And now we're getting Gears 5.
Yeah, and we're getting 5, and then we're going to get 6, and then that's going to end that trilogy. So
the problem with that is there's like a lot of Call of Duty games.
But that universe is pretty big. They could go another direction. They really could.
Because there's obviously the original series, which is World War II based, and there's Modern Warfare, then there's Black Ops, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, and then I think that's it. There's like, 4 or 5 universes. Unless they invent a new one.
They could do another. You know, will be perfect here. Modern or how about a Call of Duty game which has a mixture of World War I and sci-fi, sort of like a steampunk, like an alternate universe. Exactly. Think outside the box, guys. Stop giving us this rehash or looking at sci-fi future. Combine them because there have been games that did stuff like that and it was amazing. Do that.
I would love to do that,
Steam Wars.
but it's Call of Duty, and they're aiming at the broadest of broad audiences, and that would not sell to them, unfortunately. I could maybe see Battlefield doing it.
Or
maybe
Call of Duty, you're in the future, you got to go back and stop some shit that's going to go down. You travel in the past, you overshot where you need to go, now you're completely in the past, and you're working your way back. Or maybe the bad guy went to the past and you got to go find the bad guy. And the time you get there, they've changed the past completely. Now you need to fix it.
I have a better idea. The idea to end all ideas. Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Go.
You know, that would be nice, but it'll never happen.
I don't even know how that would work, to be honest. I just, market the shit off of the name alone. There you go.
The only way that would work is if both companies agreed to allow each company do what they want to do. Sort of like what they did with Tekken X Street. Was it Tekken X Street Fighter or Street Fighter X Tekken? Tekken X Street Fighter.
Something. One of those two.
Yeah. Where I always get those confused. Street Fighter Tekken, where Capcom got to do whatever they wanted to do with the Tekken with direction from Namco. And it kind of worked. So they could do something like that, but both parties have to agree. But the big thing about that is Call of Duty has names. They have named people in there. There really aren't any in Battlefield. So that would be a stretch.
Unless I did Bad Company. Bad Company has characters.
Bad Company. How about just give us a Bad Company too?
I remember playing that game. That was great.
Bad Company was awesome. They were supposed to give us a part 2.
Bad Company 3 is like a heavy rumor for the next Battlefield, but that's the rumor every year.
We're not going to get another. We're not going to another Bad Company.
There's golden in Mar Hills. You just invaded a neutral country.
We've been waiting on Bad Company 3 for so long.
With 5, I could see them like pushing Bad Company 3 up the timeline a little bit. That could be like
I would play that
next year's Battlefield because
Bad Company was always good. Bad Company was always a good game. And the fact that you had a squad to play off of was amazing. I love that, but maybe not. Who knows? A little bit other news. There also was an alpha of Neo 2, which was released to a random selection of people. I did not get in it. I'm kind of sad because I played that game to hell and back. but a couple of prominent streamers who play those games actually got a hand on the alpha, and said for the most part it's still Neo. You can create your own character, which is something a lot of people have been asking for. I kind of enjoy playing with the default character because that way it gave a little more focus on the story. He was more interwoven with the story, but people wanted it, so weapons seem to be the same. The combat seems to be the same. So, from what I'm understanding, it just feels like it's just more Neo, just more Neo. So that's not a bad thing because when Neo first came out on the PlayStation, I played the hell out of it. I took a break because I didn't like the performance issues. It came out for the PC, played it nonstop till I beat it. Loved it. So I'm really hoping, excuse me, before this alpha is over, that somebody gives me a key or I randomly get one because I would love to get some hands on it. But from everything I'm seeing and reading, I'm excited, especially since we didn't hear anything about Neo 2 since it got announced last year at E3. It was like Neo 2 coming. Okay, where's the rest of it? We'll see you later. So yeah, that's some interesting news and something I'm really excited for. I just want a damn key so I can play that.
Well, there's one way to get it, but we'll save that for our main topic. Up first, Diego, this show, or the floor is yours, my friend. Go ahead and regale us on your journey through the Rift Quest.
So let me tell you guys about the Oculus Quest. All right, this thing is amazing. I've had my my regular Rift, the CV1, since it came out. I've had it for almost 3 years, and I thought, okay, I'm never gonna be wowed by another VR experience again. Okay, like I've done it all. I've seen everything. Like once you try VR and you get used to it, okay, you're just accustomed to it. I put this thing on and I was immediately floored. Wireless VR is a game changer. Just I don't even trip over my wire on my CV1 that often because it's honestly not that big of a deal. But just having it there on the headset, the slight weight makes so much difference. And then when it was gone, I immediately noticed how free I felt.
So let me ask you then, since it's wireless, how is the battery life? Because I heard some people say it's only 2 hours. Is it really that short?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're playing a graphically intensive game, you can expect around 3. If you're just doing light video watching, 4.5 ish, similar to like the Switch. It charges up pretty quick. Has a USB-C charger.
Okay.
But most people don't play it like a lot unless you're a hardcore enthusiast. And if you are, you probably have a battery pack for this or something. You're not going to get that much
Oh,
VR
you know
time
what? I didn't think
every
about
day.
that. I can imagine people are going to start selling.
There already are battery packs.
Yep.
I've seen a bunch of them.
See, there we go.
Yeah, but 3 hours for hardcore VR, like 3 hours of Beat Saber, 3 hours of Super Hot, that'll tire you out. Like even I'm like a veteran for VR, and I get so exhausted after a long Beat Saber session. So I just take a break and charge it up. It's not really that big of a deal. But this thing is incredible. I'm surprised at just how simple everything is. Setting it up was like setting up a new iPhone. It was the easiest thing in the world.
So let me ask you this before you go any further. You picked up the Quest. Any particular reason you didn't pick up the Rift 2?
It's the Rift S, not the Rift 2.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's the second one. Come on.
Yeah, it's the second. Okay, well, it's not a huge overhaul because it's still technically a Rift. I already have a Rift CV1. The only upgrade the Rift S has over the CV1 is high resolution and inside-out tracking, so you don't need the cameras. But my camera's just on my desk. They practically don't even exist. My tracking solution is fine. I already have a Rift. I can play upcoming Oculus Rift exclusives. I'm okay. I wanted the Quest for wireless VR and ease of use.
Okay.
It's honestly its own system. It's like having the Rift as a PC and the Quest as a console, because the Quest really is VR's first gaming console. This is a VR console, $400, like buying a PlayStation or an Xbox. It is plug and play. You press the button, you turn it on, you're playing Beat Saber. It's that simple.
See, I was thinking about the Quest, but I was looking at people were saying that it's not as powerful, obviously, because it's a self-contained system, like you said, and that so many games that are on the Rift may not be coming to the Quest.
Yeah, there's a bunch of upcoming exclusives like Insomniac's Stormland that won't be on Quest. So you made the right choice getting a Rift S, especially because I know you're really big on technical stuff and you have a really powerful PC, so you're going to take advantage of that Rift S. Plus, you don't. It has the same. The Rift S is just a more powerful Quest with a wire. It's just one wire. I
Okay, that's
saw a
pretty good.
comparison picture of the CV1 versus the Rift S and just all the wires. It was like, oh, the Rift S is just elegant in its solutions, and the CV1 was just a mess of wires, and they were all tangled, and it was a nightmare. And I don't know how I live with it still, but
I
I've
mean,
gotten
I
used
don't,
to
I
it.
don't have the, I don't have the S yet. But like I said earlier, I did tell my wife like a week ago, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this," and I thought I pre-ordered it on Amazon, but I guess I did not. But the Best Buy up the street from me has them, so tomorrow might be get up, do my thing, go to Best Buy, pick it up.
Yeah, these devices are doing a lot better than Oculus anticipated. Both models of the Quest, the 64 gigabyte and the 128 gigabyte, are currently sold out on Amazon, and a lot of Best Buys do not have any. I don't know how it is for the Rift S. I would imagine there's more.
Yeah, this my
Just
my store says there's a bunch.
yeah, but the Quest is selling like a lot, and people are really liking this thing. I'm loving it. The tracking, people were saying that there are some issues with tracking, but I haven't really run into any. Like, because it uses cameras on the front of the headset to track the controllers. So if I were to leave my hands down at my sides, I would worry that it wouldn't track them because they were out of the field of view. But man, those are some wide FOV cameras, and even if I take them out of the field of view of the cameras and then reintroduce them to the tracking field, it's like almost instantaneous. Like I hardly noticed that they lost tracking, and it's lightweight. It's awesome, dude. I love this thing. It's so clear. The refresh rate and the frame rate are going to be lower than the Rift. The Rift is 90 hertz, and the Quest is only 72, which I can feel it. I can tell just because I'm so used to it. But if you're like not a hardcore VR enthusiast, you're not going to notice it. And if you are a hardcore VR enthusiast, you're going to be okay with it because it's wireless VR.
I mean, out of all of us here, you're the VR. I don't want to say hardcore, the enthusiast. I've been looking to get into VR. Like I said, I do have a PlayStation VR. I have not opened. Speaking of that, I will be opening up because I read about a game that's coming out very shortly. You might have heard of it too,
Blood and
Blood and
truth.
Truth.
Blood
Yeah,
and truth, dude. This
yeah,
game's going to be so cool.
yeah. I have to play that.
It's going to be awesome, dude. Yeah, PSVR is great because of exclusives. There's some
Yes,
great games on the Quest too, though. Like Star Wars Vader Immortal.
I read the review. You look like you really enjoyed that.
I mean, it's only like 45 minutes, but it is episode one. It's only $10. Honestly, I have never been more immersed in a story before. It was incredible. Darth Vader was scary. Like you walk up to me and I winced, dude. It was so he was so imposing, and holding a lightsaber for the first time because there are a lot of VR games where it's like they have their own knockoff lightsabers, but holding a real lightsaber with like actual sound effects instead of stock sound effects was life changing. It was like I had the dumbest smile on my face the whole time.
It sounds like it. You're fanboying over it right now.
Oh, it's
You're it's
so
like
good. It's not on Rift yet. It's a timed Oculus Quest exclusive, but it'll come to Rift like very soon. So everybody on Rift can enjoy that.
I'm just
And
pissed off. I was supposed to pick up Beat Saber when it was still $20. I was like, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it, and it went up to $29. It's like,
yeah,
Oh no,
I
not
think
a
that
whole
includes
nine
the
extra bucks.
hey
well,
man,
because they
ten
left early
dollars is
access,
ten
but I
dollars.
think it includes the DLC tracks with the $10 price increase, and
I
they were
keep
$10
watching. I
separately.
keep watching people play that game, and I'm like, how?
It looks a lot
What?
harder than it actually is in the head, because in the headset you can see everything a lot more clearly.
Okay, yeah, I'm just watching people go crazy. Like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that, but every
Even
time you
playing
talk
that
about
on
VR,
Quest
people
is
bring it up.
incredible. Because like on a Rift, like you have the wire and it's in front of you. You don't move a lot in Beat Saber. I mean, you duck a lot and you like go from side to side a lot to avoid things, but you don't like move around a lot in VR when you're playing Beat Saber. So the wire doesn't bother me. But playing it on Quest completely wireless was something else. Just that wire being gone makes all the difference. And it still blows my mind that I can just take it off and set it down and there's nothing attached to it. It's crazy.
This
And
is
there's
see, this is a missed opportunity for Quest because places like Best Buy should be showing this off. When I go to my local Best
there's
Buy,
demos.
well, when I go to my Best Buy, they just they moved the VR stuff to the back of the store, just sitting there on a computer. That's it. And I've always
Yeah.
asked them, why is this just sitting here? And you guys should be showing this off to people. Don't you want to sell this thing? I mean, it's literally in the back corner now, where nobody really goes. And I'd imagine it's still that way when I go there tomorrow to go pick up the Rift S. Which is a
Oculus is
shame.
marketing the Quest like really hard, and I feel like once word of mouth gets around, and especially once the holidays roll around, this thing's gonna be huge. This is gonna blow up. Like VR has been a thing for a while, but it's been a niche thing. It still is, but VR is like it's here. Like the VR video game console exists. It's the Oculus Quest. It's amazing. Just take it places. Like I just took it upstairs because I could. I can't do that with my Rift. I am buying games just to have an excuse to put the headset on. That's how much I love it.
Mm.
And there's so many good games on there. You got Creed, Beat Saber, Super Hot. They got Robo Recall running on the Oculus Quest.
I've heard good things about Robo Recall. I've heard a lot of good things about that game.
Yeah, Epic Games made that game. Might have heard of them from their other little game. They made a Fortnite.
I only remember them from Gears of War and Unreal Tournament. What is this Fortnite you're talking about?
Right?
Yeah, I guess they made those like old games too, but I don't know why you want to play old games, all right?
Yes, Jackrabbit, Commander Keen, Blake Stone. I don't know this Fortnite.
Whatever. You can't do Fortnite dances in those old games, all right?
Hey, I'm an old timer, all right? Those games are precious to me.
Man, honestly, I can play Unreal Tournament until I die. Seriously, I can.
The technical wizardry required to get Robo Recall to run on this mobile processor is just alien to me. And they got it running at the smoothest frame rate, and it looks gorgeous.
Okay, let's talk about that. How is the frame rate? Not just Robo Recall, but games in general.
Very smooth. Incredibly smooth. It's honestly awesome. Like, I have not run into any problems at all with anything. I am amazed at how seamless this entire experience has been. I've spent the past 4 days in and out of VR with Oculus Quest. I've even sideloaded some stuff that's not on the store on there, because you can do that with some apps. Everything is so plug and play. I run into zero issues. It should not be working this well.
Wow, listen to this guy. He's like the spokesperson for Oculus, man.
I think what Diego's saying is on a scale of 1 to 5, you rate this a 1. I don't know. I don't think he likes it that much.
I think you mean 100. Come on now. He seems ecstatic. That's good. I'm glad for you. I'm glad that you're really enjoying this experience.
People would say things about VR. They're like, "Oh, there's too many wires. Oh, the setup's too much. Oh, it's too expensive." And this is still $400. But like, there is no setup. There is no wires. It is almost PC quality VR. It's better than PSVR for sure.
So what you're saying is we can expect an amazing glowing review from you in a couple of weeks because you love this thing so much.
Yeah. Once I get some more hands-on with some more games, yeah, I'm definitely gonna put a review up for this thing, and it's gonna be a glowing review.
So the only negative thing I'm hearing about this is it doesn't have access to all the games that are on the standalone Rift. So does it have access to Steam VR games too, or no? Is it its own isolated?
But you can't fault the device for that, because that's like faulting the Nintendo Switch for not being able to play PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games. It's just not that powerful. It's its own system.
Hey, that's a fight right there. Not with me. I agree with you 100% when you come to the Switch.
There is a schism in the VR community to where it's like, man, all these games should support cross-buy, but then a lot of people are like, well, then they're not going to make any money because no one's going to there's like no VR players to begin with. This is its own thing. It's like it's a console. The Oculus Rift and HTC Vive are peripherals. The Oculus Quest is a console.
Which just makes things a lot more interesting, especially when you're looking at the upcoming shopping holiday or shopping season, as you want to call it. Just because you got the Xbox, got the PlayStation, Stadia's coming out, Project X Cloud will be out, and then you have this, which from what you're saying sounds amazing and does well on its own. So there's basically another player in the VR space, which could potentially take it over with this and the Rift S. But the fact that
everybody who has a PC right now who wants an Oculus Rift or a Vive has one or is planning on getting one. People who are not like planning on getting a PC VR headset are not going to get one. When they hear Oculus, they're like, "Oh, my computer's not powerful enough. I don't have a computer. I don't have the space." The Quest is that alternative for them. The Quest is for the masses. Like, people are going to buy this. A lot of people are going to buy this.
So what sort of games have you played? Not the actual titles of the games, like genres of games, or backing up, because again, I'm just slowly becoming interested with this. Is there one particular genre that's better than another genre? Like, are racing games pretty good? Are there any racing games? I know first-person shooters are really good on it because Road Recall and a couple other ones that are coming out.
Yeah, a lot of shooters. Wave shooters are probably the most popular genre in VR just because how simple they are and how easy they work in the VR space. Racing games are surprisingly lacking on the Quest. There's a lot of racing games on PC VR and PlayStation VR. I guess the Quest just isn't powerful enough to run those games, but with the way the Quest is selling and how easy this thing is to develop for, going off of how I've seen developers get alphas and betas out there 2 or 3 days after release, they'll find a way to port. I think there's only one racing game on the store right now on the Quest, and it's like VR Karts, which is still good, but it's not Assetto Corsa. It's not Drive Club VR. It is not Project Cars.
All right. And the controllers for the Quest, they are the same as the Rift?
Yep. The new and improved Oculus Touch controllers.
Is the S?
Rift S.
Okay, so they have the same one. Because I saw before that they said it might not have those, and I wasn't sure. So they all use the same new controller.
Same controllers. Okay. And the same tracking method. The Rift S does not require cameras. They're all in the headset. The only difference between the Rift S and the Quest is one wire. And the PC it connects to.
Man, that does sound good. It kind of makes me look at maybe possibly getting the Quest instead. I don't know.
I think
they're both the same
price. If you don't already
price.
have a Rift, you should get the Rift. Just because it's only one wire, it's not going to make that big of a difference. And the exclusives. There are two big, I guess 3 now. They announced the third one. There are 3 big exclusives coming out for Oculus Rift only. I guess one's going to be on Quest. There's 2 coming out for Rift only this year.
What's that?
Stormland, which is by Insomniac Games. They've already made some Rift exclusives. And it's an open world, narrative-driven game. They haven't revealed much about it yet, but it's coming out sometime this year. And then I think Sanzaro, is it Sanzaro or Ready Dawn? No, Ready Dawn's making Lone Echo 2, which is another narrative-driven zero gravity game.
I'm looking at Stormland now, the E3
and then Sanzaro's making Asgard's Wrath, where they said it's going to be 30 to 40 hours, and it's like this Norse action RPG. It's going to be super cool. And then Phantom Covert Ops is another one. It's going to be on Quest as well. It's a Cold War stealth shooter where you play this guy infiltrating a bunch of bases, but you play the entire game in a kayak.
Okay.
It's really interesting. And all 4 of these are coming out this year. 3 of them will be on Quest. 3 of them will be on Rift. 1 will be on Quest. They're all playable on Rift, though. For the most part, if something's on Quest, it'll be on Rift too. Just because why not? If anything, Quest is going to miss out on games just because of the lack of power.
Speaking of that, what about audio? Do you have to wear a headset?
That's
surround sound.
Complaint. So the Oculus Rift CV1, the original Oculus Rift, had integrated headphones, built-in headphones. They were comfortable and they had great sound. The Oculus Rift S and the Oculus Quest,
oh boy,
don't have headphones per se, but they have integrated audio built into the headbands.
That doesn't sound very good.
It is fine. That is the best I can call it. Luckily, both devices have headphone jacks on both sides.
Okay.
So you can plug in headphones, and Oculus makes their own headphone attachment to where you.
But is it just standard stereo? Is it surround sound? If you plug in your own headset.
I believe it's just stereo, but if you plug in something, you can get surround.
Okay. That's kind
of the sound is it's fine. It's good, especially for the Quest because it's going to be like a party kind of. It's party VR where you pass it around. You don't want to have big headphones on, but if you're alone and you just want to get immersed, you can put headphones on.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Damn, this does sound good. And you know what? You're doing a hell of a job of selling this. I'll tell you that much. I really hope
I could tolerate people talking trash about VR these past 3 years because their complaints were valid. They're the only complaint that is feasible now is price. And that's a valid complaint, obviously, but
I $399, $400, same price PlayStation 4, same price.
The Oculus Rift headset alone used to be $600, and the controllers were another $100.
Yeah,
the Vive launched at $800. The Index is $1,000. This is an all-in-one VR solution for $399.
Yeah, but the Index has a lot going for it.
Yeah, the Index is, but that is an enthusiast device.
Yeah.
Also,
the fact it has a higher refresh rate.
Get a Rift S instead of a Quest if you're looking to play Valve's new flagship VR titles that are coming out over the next couple of years. They are on Steam VR. Oculus Rift works with Steam VR. Oculus Quest does not. But
that's the kicker right there.
But there's a program called RiftCat that it was used for Cardboard VR and Gear VR, where you could use your computer and stream.
I'm
Steam
sorry.
VR
I'm sorry. You said Cardboard VR?
Yeah, like Google Cardboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are they still doing that? I thought they stopped that.
You can still build your own kits. It's the same thing as like those cheapo plastic things you find at like Ross. But you could stream Steam VR games to your phone and play games that way. It didn't work too well, but within hours of the Quest launching, it was available for Quest, and I tried it out. I streamed some Steam VR stuff to my Quest. I streamed Skyrim VR. It was not bad. Because streaming is already bad for regular.
Right
well, because streaming is bad enough for regular games, right? So you would imagine streaming for VR where it has to be 90 frames per second with minimal latency, otherwise you'll throw up. It sounds impossible. But Skyrim VR was playable. Not amazing, not even good, but playable. Like I did a quest on my Quest.
Questception.
I did a quest on my Quest. Wait, what?
It worked. And that was within hours of launch. I imagine a year from now, it'll be better. I don't know. I'm just saying there are advances being made in the VR space every day.
Okay, so you bring up a good question, streaming from the Oculus Rift, which is something that I'm thinking about doing when I get that. How complex is that? Because I've seen a couple of people do it, but normally they're like people that are heavily vested in the VR or people who are very familiar with it or are developers of VR. How much of a pain in the behind is that?
So I have zero experience streaming from Oculus, but the Quest has a share menu built in, and you can share screenshots. And there's a stream button or like a go. I think it's a go live or record video button. I'm not sure about the entire process of streaming from Quest, but I know on Rift it should be just about the same as streaming a regular PC game.
Okay.
If you want to go all in and get the mixed reality capture, I don't know about all that. That requires a bunch of cameras.
No thanks.
But just getting capture, it should just be recording because whenever you play a Rift game, it outputs non-VR video to your monitor, the social screen as they call it. So you can just stream that.
I'm definitely gonna give that a try because, like I said, I watch a lot of people play Saber Beat, and they are just going ham. So I definitely see that.
Yeah, and the good thing about the Rift over the Quest, Beat Saber mods, custom songs. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of maps out there of any song you can think of, and the Quest only has standard songs, which great songs, but the standard like 20 can only last you so long.
Hey Josh, you sold yet?
I'm at a Beat Saber out of the mods.
I'm sold. I just don't have the money to buy one. Somebody give me money.
I feel like that's most people now because they hear how great the Quest is. Like it's still $400. That's a video game console right there.
It is. It really is.
And with new consoles coming out, presumably next fall, I don't blame people for saving up for proven video game consoles instead of experimental VR headsets.
But see, that's the thing with VR. I think at this point, at least with the Quest, that the VR is able to stand on their own now. Would you say this is more powerful or just as powerful as the current generation PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation VR?
Some of the games I played on Quest are better than their PSVR counterparts.
Okay. So outside of exclusive games, this is a viable standalone solution. And it's new. So depending on how it goes, you might see a lot more great games coming out for the Quest.
Oh, for sure. I feel like every major VR title, if it does not come out on Quest, they're missing a lot of revenue. They would be crazy to not release on Quest unless they're doing a super heavy, graphically intensive, story-focused, open-world title for the Oculus, which no one's going to fund that for VR unless you're Oculus Studios yourself. That's why stuff like Stormland gets made, because Facebook's throwing a lot of money at it. But everything else will be on Quest. Games that were developers said they would not even think would work on Quest, after seeing success on Quest, they're trying. If they got Robo Recall on Quest, anything can get on Quest.
There you have it. I was already sold on the S. Man. I really hope Best Buy has them on display or has them kiosk out so people can try them out. And if not, I might have to travel down to Micro Center to see if they do because I really want to try it before I buy it. But one wire is nothing.
About the Quest is that the Oculus Rift was $599 for the headset and $99 more for the controllers at launch 3 years ago. Last summer, it went on sale for $349 for the entire setup: headset, 2 controllers, 2 cameras. That's half. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that in the foreseeable future, the Oculus Quest will hit $199.
I don't think
$199. It's a must buy. I think for sure at least $299.
I don't think the price is going to be a huge factor going forward because you got to remember it's also the first Rift was more of a, hey, we did this. How is this going to be received? The price was holding a lot of people back, but eventually the technology was proven. That's why we have the
I still think price is a huge deal because PSVR goes up to $199 with games, and people are still like, I don't know. That's a lot of money for a
because there's nothing that screams
there's no games.
Exactly.
And the games are just now finally starting to show up, but I still feel like it's not enough. Because remember whenever Sony did their first State of Play, they only showed VR games for the most part, and people didn't care. But then afterwards, people are like, there are no VR games. It's a cycle that just never ends, where people say there are no VR games, but then a big publisher shows VR games at a major press conference,
and I don't want to play it.
And the audiences don't care. They don't want to play it. Don't show me VR games.
Yep.
And it's going to keep happening until publishers keep throwing money at these big budget exclusives like Stormland, Asgard's Wrath, Iron Man VR, Blood and Truth. People are just now realizing that games like Moss and Astrobot work in VR because people see platformers and they're like, why would I want to play a platformer in VR? But they don't understand that Moss and Astrobot are magical experiences.
I've heard great things about Astrobot, which is beyond me why I have yet to pick that game up.
Astrobot is my top 5 game of last year, and
everybody keeps talking about it.
Criminally underrated at every award show because it was a VR game.
I don't think it's going to be that way for much longer. I do think the issue with VR the first couple years was that VR was seen as a fad, but it's not showing any signs of slowing down. It hasn't gone away like the 3D TVs. That was a fad.
Yeah,
that died out really quick.
It's just going to catch on a lot more slowly than everybody thought. I think next gen is when VR is really going to hit its stride because as awesome as the Quest is, and as great as the Rift S is, and I'm sure the Valve Index and Vive Cosmos will be great, they're still PC devices, and the general audience is still always going to see them as those guys in their corner playing with their Oculus headsets. I think when PSVR 2 hits, especially with the stuff that Sony has recently been saying about next-gen PlayStation VR, that's when it's going to happen. Because PlayStation VR 2 is talking about eye tracking, which is crucial to VR going forward, talking about optional wireless, which is a huge deal. Options are great for VR. When PSVR 2 hits and there's a bunch of games on it, and the Quest is also out, hitting its stride with a bunch of games, and the Rift S is killing it, that's when Valve releases Half-Life whatever for VR, if that's what it is.
You keep thinking that's going to happen?
I think it'll be a spin-off at most. I think it'll be a new IP, most likely.
What's confusing me is, and I'm gonna relate this to arcade experiences, because the VR is a great extension of arcades, light shooters, shooting games. Why haven't we seen the majority of these games come over? Like House of the Dead would be a great experience on the Rift.
Oh, that'd be great in VR. Yeah, because light shooters and wave shooters are like the VR genre right now. They're the easiest to make and they sell the most. Oh, that'd be great.
It's like, why are these games not on here? You go to the arcade, you got House of the Dead, you've got Time Crisis. It's like, why aren't these on VR? Because you can't do these on consoles.
Yeah. And VR has revived like so many, like the rhythm genre has made a huge comeback thanks to VR. Beat Saber and Audica have brought the rhythm genre back into the mainstream. VR can do so much cool stuff like that, to where you just think, okay, those games wouldn't work on consoles, but they work much better in a virtual space.
I do have one question. I'm going to go back to the hardware. I meant to ask this because I know a lot of people that are listening or will listen to it may fall into this category. How is it for those who wear prescription glasses?
Okay, here's the thing about glasses.
And
glasses in VR.
I wear glasses.
Glasses in VR have always been an issue. I don't wear glasses, so I can't speak to how they are in the Quest or in the Rift S. I know in the Vive, in the original Rift CV1, you could kind of sort of wear your glasses in there. You would always run the risk of scratching the lenses. but for the most part, you were safe. However, if you're already splurging on a VR headset, you probably have some money left over to throw around. Not a whole bunch, but there are companies who make lenses you can swap out for the Rift, and I guess the Quest now, because they'd be stupid not to, where you can get your prescription in the VR lens, so you don't have to wear glasses in there.
Yeah, because I remember reading about a lot of people having issues with that, and so I wanted to ask about that.
It really also depends on the size of your glasses and things like that. But you can get prescription VR lenses if you really want to. It's doable.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that recap. That was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, dude.
I am interested. I really want to play Road Recall, and even though it's not coming to Oculus, I really want to play Blood and Truth. I was at a
you have a PSVR, don't you?
I do, but it's still sitting in the freaking box.
Plug it in. Do you have the Move controllers?
No. Wait.
Oh, wait. You can play with DualShock 4 or Move, but Move's going to be the way to go for Blood and Truth.
Yeah, this one is the bundle I got last year, so it should have the Move controllers.
Cool.
I have not opened it. I literally had no reason to open it.
Dope. And if you have not purchased it yet, anybody listening, on Amazon, it is currently $30 instead of the retail price of $40.
Because I was reading about it today, and I saw it, and I was like, "What is this game?" Then I looked at a video. I was like, "Holy shit, this looks good!"
2 years ago, and then it went radio silent until State of Play like a month or two ago, and here it is.
What was that other game? It was right before that. London. What was that?
London Heist. That's in the PlayStation VR demo disc.
Okay.
PlayStation VR Worlds, actually, that's what it's called. Yeah, that was a tech demo, and then this is the full game of that.
Is that tech demo still available, or is that just...
If you buy PlayStation VR Worlds, which goes on sale for very cheap,
okay,
that is what you buy that game for. It is a 20-30 minute, that's a 20-minute max demo.
You know, maybe I should just do it. Maybe I should just do it. The reason why I haven't done it because I keep my son. Only reason I got the PlayStation VR is because every time we went to Best Buy, he would go over to the PlayStation section and the guy would be demoing, and he was like, "Let me play it." And I was like, you know what? Let's just get it for Christmas. The bundles were cheap. It was like $250 about the bundle.
Yeah, they were real cheap for the holidays.
But I kept telling him, if you keep acting like an ass, we're not going to play it. And he keeps acting like an ass. It's like, I told you to behave. If you behave, we'll bust it out. But
the thing with PSVR is the tracking is not ideal. It's running off of controllers and a camera from the PlayStation 3. Especially once you start messing around with the Rift and real VR headsets. That's mean. I shouldn't say that. Once you mess around with PC VR headsets, you will notice that the tracking is not great on PSVR because instead of using the lights that the Rift and Vive use, it uses actual lights. Like the Move controller ones light up and the camera tracks those. And as a result, the PSVR headset looks really cool and futuristic because it's all blue.
I always wondered why they didn't upgrade the PlayStation Eye or the camera. That made no sense.
To develop new controllers like that and then to sell them would drive the price of that thing through the roof. It's a cost-cutting measure, and it just functions. It's good enough.
You see, you say functions. Now, working in IT, something that functions doesn't mean it functions well. It's not broke. It's just console, not doing very well.
If you're buying a PlayStation VR, you know what to get into. You're getting quality games with okay hardware. At least the PlayStation VR aim controller is dope.
Yeah.
Firewall Zero Hour, also criminally underrated. People stopped talking about it after 2 weeks. One of the greatest games I've ever played.
I think the problem with that is because the bundle for the game, because it comes with the light, the stick, whatever you call it. It's always $80 everywhere I see it. It's always $80. And again, the VR and the pricing.
Yeah, but you can play the game with the DualShock 4.
So, you can,
of course. Yeah, nobody really wants to because you want to have the cool gun. But if you're getting a PSVR, buy the aim controller.
I think maybe if that was a little cheaper, if the bundle was a little cheaper, I think that would sell a lot more.
I've seen it on sale for like $60 every now and then, so you can like wait, because the game itself is $40, and the controller itself is like $60.
Low battery.
There's that phone again, saying low battery. See, it won't die. It will not die. Stupid phone.
Yeah, but with the Quest being a thing, all these Oculus games coming out this year, Valve's game coming out this year, Blood and Truth out in like 4 days. It's a good year for VR.
All right. That's good to hear. Josh, I think we should move on to the next topic. We're rifted out of here. A lot of good news about the Rift, though. No. Bring that phone back. Bring it back. I want it to die. No. You take this phone. No, I know it won't die. No. We're live. No. God damn it, woman. No. Oh, you. Damn you, woman.
Was that Keith Jr.?
No, that was the wife. She took the controller from me. The phone. She was like, she came in and swapped it, and she's like, the second I said we're live, she's like, oh really? And she just ran out. I shouldn't have said that. Oh well.
Oh man, she should have came on the podcast and said something.
She was like, it's dying. I was like, no, leave it. And now I have no phone. She took both phones. Damn it. So this topic is gonna have me heated. So I'll let Josh introduce this one.
Yeah, so with all the rambling you've done about the Rift, you know what you could be, Diego? You could be an influencer, and you can make about $50,000 an hour plugging the shit out of stuff. Except you'd be interested in doing it, and you actually would know stuff about it, unlike most of the people on YouTube who just pretend to get the money. But yeah, apparently there's a new report that came out that companies like Ubisoft and Activision and Blizzard and Epic Games are willing to pay up to $50,000 per hour, not per day, not per game, not per play session, per hour, to influencers to basically put the word out there and spread the good deed about their games. Man, this is a sore subject because, here we go. The whole, we're a growing site, and, we've got our followers, and we give honest opinions, and, we do all this good stuff. We play it and give it, 100%, all of our effort. We're fans to the core and all that stuff, and we get passed over by big companies because, well, we don't have a large enough audience like some of these YouTubers do. And now we understand why, because, they'll charge $60 for a game. They'll charge, an extra $30 for the DLC pack, and, they'll charge out the ass for DLC because they need to make their money back, right? They need their return on investment. And that's because some of the marketing costs are in the millions due to the fact that they're just paying this shit out left and right to every fucking big YouTuber out there, and we get nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, I can't say we really get nothing. We get, games to review from big companies, but
which has been dwindling because of, that.
Because of this shit. Yeah. I mean, for example, I hate to, ride the Blizzard bandwagon because, that's what I usually do, but kind of played World of Warcraft since April of 2005, kind of got almost 15 years experience in the game. I know that game inside and out. I've been with them from vanilla all the way up to Battle for Azeroth. Do you think that I get like super early access to any beta test to give them actual feedback, which by the way, I can because I have a degree in game design, a bachelor's at that, and I know what I'm fucking talking about? Do I get any special treatment? No, because I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have millions of followers.
Well, we do have a YouTube channel.
But you missed the second part. We don't have millions of followers.
Yeah, we don't have that. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest? There's no way in this freaking world that our site or any other site in our capacity or even bigger sites will have 1 million followers, just because YouTube is A, oversaturated, and B, everybody has their favorites, and C, companies have their favorites. Just like you're getting to, they go to the same people every freaking time. And I'm not going to discount all these influencers, because that's what they're calling them now, because some of them know what they're talking about. But I've literally watched some of these guys and gals, guys and girls, whatever you want to associate yourself with. I'm not going to go there. Talk about a game, stream a game, and they are terrible at it. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They completely undersell the game, and it's like, this company gave you this for you to show this game off, and you doing a terrible job at it. But yet, if there was a professional game journalist doing this, you would ridicule the hell out of them for doing it. Polygon comes to mind. Dean from Venture Beat comes to mind. Why do these people do the same thing as a professional in the same capacity, and it's a complete different thing as well? How does that make any sense?
Yeah, and like I'll use another example. A perfect example is Amaz, who is a Hearthstone player.
Fuck that guy. Sorry.
Yeah, well, he's obviously not playing Hearthstone anymore. He's kind of sucking a dick of auto chess, but be that as it may, when he was playing Hearthstone, and I want to say it was Legion, when World of Warcraft came out with Legion, they gave him early fucking beta access to Legion, and he even admitted it on stream. He's like, I don't play World of Warcraft, but yet they went ahead and gave him that because he has a large audience and he plays a Blizzard game.
Yeah, and that's what happens. It sounds like, and I don't want this to sound like we're just ranting a rant, because we're not. This affects us. This affects other sites, bigger and smaller than us. And it affects people that are trying to actually give very good criticism, creative, a lot of feedback, and they're trying to be genuine about this. But yet these people get passed over, don't get the opportunities because, as Josh said, they don't have the numbers. And numbers are all that really matter. You could be a complete idiot and know nothing about said game, play said game, but if you have a huge following, the companies will come to you, which is something that is really affecting this industry. I'm going to let Josh finish what he was saying, because I have this whole rant I'm going to go say, and I'm not sure if Josh is going to say the same thing, so I'll let Josh go first. And if he doesn't, then you'll hear my loud mouth.
Man, I don't remember what I was going to finish saying. I just usually go off on tangents and then just like say whatever comes to mind. But
okay, then I'll go run my loud mouth. So here's my biggest issue. Not as much as getting passed over for certain games or for certain things. I get it, but at the same time, I would love the opportunity. People have seen what we've done. Yeah, we're not the biggest site. Our numbers may be not where they want people want them to be. Fine, but here's my problem. You're paying somebody $50,000 more or less to play this game, to show off this game, to talk about this game, to pitch this game. But yet you got these people that go to look at these game journalists like us and other people, and say, we can't trust you because you got a game for free. Okay, valid point. But then you go to these people that are getting paid more money than most of the people will make in a year by streaming the game for a couple hours, and you listen to their shit like it's gospel. They're being paid to talk about the game, to feed you information or crap about the game, and you believe them. They're getting paid to do this. Oh, this guy's great. I love what he's saying. Oh, he's showing me everything. This is amazing stuff. Yeah, keep going. He or she could be feeding you a bunch of shit. This person could hate the game, but for that amount of money, I'm not going to turn it down. Nobody in their right mind is going to go, hey, we know you don't like this game. We know you don't kind of play these kind of games, but here's a fat check. Play this game and talk about this game. You tell me one person who's not going to play that game, and I will show you a fool. $50,000 as an example, because like I said, it could be more, it could be less, but $50,000 to play a game for a couple of hours. Nobody is going to turn that down. I make a little bit more than that working a 9-to-5 job in IT, where I just literally want to kill myself sometimes. And a person can make this multiple times in a year by just playing a game. Just think about it. If this one person played 4 big games from EA or Activision or God knows who else, and got paid $50,000 times 4, $200,000 for playing a game for a couple of hours.
No, that's per hour. So if you played it for a couple of hours, that's like 400, almost like.
Well, what's what I'm saying? If you play it for an hour and you played it 4 times, that's just a base example. But if you're playing it for multiple times and it's $50,000 an hour, what? Mom, you've fucked up my entire life. I told you playing games would get you somewhere. No, playing games will rot your brain. Meanwhile, 2018, 2019, people were streaming games and they make enough to buy a house, buy shiny cars, do whatever the fuck they want to do. Meanwhile, you got people out in the world struggling. And then you got these other people saying, oh, you just mad because you can't do what they do. Well, it's not possible for everybody to do that. That's just like the NBA or the NFL. Not everybody is going to get there. And there's a shit ton of factors that do that. One, streaming is a very heavy job. You have to be devoted and on that grind every damn day. The streaming field is saturated, just like YouTube. Twitch, Mixer are full of people that do this nonstop. Get up, they do this. They go to bed, they get up, they do this. Companies have their favorites. They know who they're going to go to for their big games constantly. It's not even a question. Every time you hear about, oh, there's going to be this beta or this closed beta, they have keys for these people. Don't let them say, oh, it's a closed beta. Only certain people are going to get in. No, bullshit. They're going to give these keys to these streamers, to these influencers, because they're going to push the narrative. It's just that simple. And when I say companies have their favorites, people that watch these guys and girls, people have their favorites. Just because, I'll give you a great example. I've had access to a game many, many weeks ahead of other people, and so did a couple of big names. I would go out and play it on Mixer before they even start playing it. The second these people come on, the little bit of people that were watching mine are already over their channel. They have favorites, and that is a big issue. It's so hard for a new person to get into the streaming, I don't want to say industry, say streaming game, because people have their favorites. And unless you network off the ads, unless they give you a shout out, it's like getting your teeth pulled, man, or pulling teeth. It's nearly impossible anymore. It's just so saturated. And you got streamers, influencers that will play a game even if they don't like it because they get the numbers. They want the numbers. I don't know how many people started playing Sekiro when Sekiro first came out. And I watched these people die constantly and seen a couple people say, I don't even play games like this. Then why are you playing it? Oh, the numbers. I need the numbers. I want people to see me playing it. And then after a couple of days, I'll stop playing it. You know, it's that stuff that makes these big companies go after these streamers, which then pay them a shit ton of money. I'm not even going to talk about how it affects companies' bottom lines where, you know, we've seen Activision pay shit tons of money to influencers and go back behind everybody's back and fire the people because either they got to make the money to pay these influencers or they don't feel that having internal people is worth it anymore. Why? We got all the marketing we want with these influencers, which is also, I don't like. I hate that. I don't like that. It's not that I can't do it. It's the fact that you've got people that you hired to do this, but you think they're irrelevant anymore, and you get rid of them. Just to have an influencer do it who may or may not do a good job, who may or may not give a shit about your game, who may or may not drop your game after a couple of days or even a couple hours. I mean, I would imagine there's some kind of contract in place for stuff like this. And you guys are making me talk. You guys need to talk. Come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean,
I guess I'm going to be the one talking about this then, because nobody else is talking about
it. Well, I mean, basically, it is what you said. I mean, it's
nobody else wants to say anything.
Can you not hear me?
Yeah, Josh is talking.
I think Keith is broken.
Yeah, Keith, you there, buddy?
Oh, excuse me.
I think, yeah, he's broken. We'll just ignore him for now. I'll just go ahead and talk.
All right.
Since everyone else can hear me, I'm assuming Twitch can hear me. So, yay.
Guys, yeah. I'm gonna be right back. Excuse me.
he's gonna go fix himself probably.
Yeah, we're good on Twitch, so just go on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly as Keith says. I mean, obviously the root of the problem is the fact that companies found a brand new way to market games, and that's obviously through social media. And you know, that's one thing that Keith was about to get into is the whole fact that there's companies like Activision, Blizzard, stuff like that are cutting back on their internal staff, and a lot of it was in their marketing department when they let go. I think it was like 800 people or something like that a few months back.
Sorry about that.
And essentially, when they were doing that, you kind of wonder, like, well, why did they fire their marketing people? And this is exactly why they did that, because they would rather spend $50,000 on 1 hour of one streamer, you know, promoting a game than spending a collective salary on their entire, you know, marketing department every single week.
And it's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, as terrible as some of these people are, or as disinterested as some of these people are, I mean, obviously they're not going to turn down $50,000. You'd be stupid, you know, to do so. It still works because, even if they don't like the game, they've got millions of people watching who probably just want to see the game. They probably don't even care. The audience doesn't even care if the guy is good at the game or not. They just want to see what it looks like. They want to see how it plays, and you don't even need an explanation. They can just visually see it as it's happening. And sure, smart asses in a Twitch chat are going to make fun of the guy when he screws up because that's Twitch chat. Going to get a whole bunch of Bible thumbs all over the place.
Anybody pay attention to Twitch chat? That shit is so toxic half the time. No, 99% of the time.
I mean, most of the time I close it out. It's like a big streamer, like especially like Kriparian's channel. I just like close that shit out. But yeah, it basically markets itself at that point, and that's what they're paying for. I mean, we could argue all day long that influencers don't even have to like the game and all that shit, but that's not the whole point of it. It's the eyes on the game, and they don't care. They don't care about the opinion. They care about how many eyes are watching, and that's how many potential buyers they could have for that game. And honestly, as much as we hate it, and I really hate to admit this because of diehard fans like us, it works. It's a strategy that works, and I don't think it's ever going to go away because the internet is just getting more popular. It's getting more accessible, if you can even believe that, as many devices it's on these days. I mean, you can watch gaming on your PC, you can watch it on your tablet, you can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your fucking Switch. You can watch it on pretty much anything. And as long as you have access to a stream and you see an influencer playing a game, the marketing company or the marketing department of that company has already won. I mean, they pretty much have your eyes on that title, and that's exactly what they want.
My only problem with this is, as you said, it's getting bigger and bigger. It's becoming sort of like a monopoly because, as I said before, they go to the same people over and over, and they're not giving other people chances to get invested in this. It's like, hey, we're going to go to the same people over and over and over and over and over and over. And I get it, but there are more than these people out there. There are more than a handful of streamers. There are more than a handful of influencers. Try other people. See if you can grow this. I mean, there have been so many streamers that I've watched in the past, and I just either they say something or they just rub people the wrong way, or they become so pick-headed that they think they can do no wrong. They can say whatever the fuck they want to say. And it's like, you know what? You guys can keep watching them because you think they're God. I'm done. I don't need people talking like they know everything or being toxic and being asses to their community. And I just stopped watching them because I'm not here for that. I'm here to see the game. I'm here to talk to you about the game. I'm here for you to tell me what you think about the game, what you don't like about the game, and to have a good time, because that's what it's supposed to be about. But the moment it starts turning to something that's toxic, or you're getting pissed off at your fans because they're asking you questions, I want nothing to do with you. I'm done. But they're the same people that they keep feeding stuff over and over to, or fly them out to events. It's like the fat keep getting fatter, and the rest of us keep tightening our belts. It's the best way I can sum it up.
Yep. I mean, personally, like, let's take Mega Man for an example. Like, here we go. Here's my expertise in the world of Mega Man. I have literally one game away from owning every single US released Mega Man title. Just one game away from owning it all. I have foreign titles. I have seen the entire EXE anime series. I have the Ruby Spears cartoon on DVD. I have the entire manga set. I have fucking shit coming out of shit about Mega Man. I could basically tell you every single Robot Master, their weakness, the weapon they drop, the order to kill them in for every fucking game that's been ever made. All right, my knowledge goes beyond like a normal fan. I am like the absolute perfect person to send an early access copy to the next Mega Man game, because I could give you a heartfelt, in-depth, knowledgeable, experienced opinion on the game, which would probably sell you a ton of copies if people would just fucking listen to me. But am I going to get it? No, because I'm not.
You're not relevant. Influencer. You're not an influencer. You're not relevant. They're not going to pitch you out. They're not going to shout your name. So. And that's
the part that burns me.
Yeah, that's the thing right there. It's just like, even when we do a review and we send these reviews to these companies, and you're like, okay, great, thanks, and you don't say anything. If you took the time to send us a game, I would think in my mind that you think that we're going to do a good review, or we're going to do a proper review, good or bad, if we like the game or not, and you're going to put that out there. But you don't half the time. You're like, oh, thanks for the review, and we hear nothing else from it. Like, did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it shit? Was it great? I mean, you're literally investing money into us because you're giving us a code. These games aren't free. We do the job and we send it back to you, and nothing comes out of it. Meanwhile, you get a guy who writes a 2-paragraph review. This game is fucking amazing. It's awesome, great. Hey, check out this review. This guy did a great review on our game. Review doesn't tell us a goddamn thing about the game, guy. What's so great about it?
Yep.
It's like you told me something I get off the box. Great. That's great. Tells me nothing. As you can tell, I'm frustrated. Thank you for this topic, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. And you're exactly right. Like when I did a review or of any game that I've been given, I mean, I go through the gameplay, I go through the story, I go through the graphics, I go through the sound, I go through the replayability of it. I go in depth, and then you showed me an actual link to a review. It was literally 2 paragraphs long, and the guy said absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, and those are the things I look at, and I go, oh, what the fuck? Why? And yet these people keep getting shouted out. They keep getting codes. They keep getting, I don't want to say fame, but hits directed to whatever you want to call it. And it's like, this is a waste of your time. This is a joke. I'm not here to toot my own horn, but I'm also going to tell you, hey, this is bullshit. The point of a review, in my mind, is to inform you of a certain thing and give you my opinions of it. Whether you agree with my opinions or not, I'm giving you valid criticism. I'm not just going to say, hey, you can do this in the game. This game has that in the game. Oh, this game is great, or this game sucks. The end. No, I'm going to break it down. If it's a story, I'm going to say if I like the story or not. I'm going to talk about the gameplay. I'm going to talk about the controls. I'm going to talk about things I liked. I'm going to talk about stuff I hate. And if it's a PC game, I'm also going to take the time to tell you, if it ran like shit on my machine, what issues I had with it on my machine, and what PC-centric options were in that game. Because the point of me doing this review is to let you know what's in this game. You may not like the fact that this game only runs on high-end machines. You may not like this game because it has the Novo in it. You may not like this game because it's on Epic Game Store. But it's my job to tell you about said game. Otherwise, why are you sending me a code?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now I'm sad.
Like Xbox One sad?
Yeah. That's also a sad name. I mean, it's again, the people could hear this and say you're just bitching and complain. No, it's legit criticism. It's if we didn't care, if we just said, oh, give us codes, and we don't care, thanks. Well, here's a review, keep giving us games, then fine, we wouldn't be bitching about it. We're complaining about it because we genuinely care. We think this is a bum deal. We think this is not healthy for the industry, but the bigwigs that are saving X amount of money and are firing people left and right and don't care about valid criticism. And I'm not saying all influencers are like that, because there are a lot of influencers that are worth their salt. There are a lot of great ones out there, but there's also a lot of people out there that are just terrible. But and this is the way the industry is going. People have been arguing about this for a while now. If you go to Reddit, you go to Twitter, you'll see the same thing we're talking about being talked about every day. And the problem is there's a divide. You've got people that are like, hey, you're just afraid that your stuff that you're doing is going to go away, and that this media is the new way going forward. And yeah, that could be that too. But if this is not giving you any valid criticism, if it's not doing a job or providing you feedback that makes your choice easier, or playing the game like shit, are you really going to believe what they say? Are you going to believe what they're doing? Or is it just because they're getting a fat check that they're doing it? Money will make people do a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, that's true. And like I said, doesn't really matter who's playing it. It's just the people watching it counts. It's the same effect that people have when they get access to a beta. Hey, I don't get to report any problems because I have early access to the game.
Oh my fucking God.
Me. I am playing it before everybody else. Look at me, guys. I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
I fucking hate that so bad. I'm sorry for dropping F-bombs, guys, but I figured, I'm done being nice. I'm just going to be honest. And I hate that. I hate it so much. A beta an alpha is not early access. This is you getting access to a game that you're supposed to be providing feedback to the developers to make the game better. Not to say, oh, look at me, I'm playing a game early and provide nothing. Because if the game comes out in the end playing like crap, it look like crap, that's partially your fault. You're supposed to provide feedback. And I don't understand how these companies give out these keys for betas and alphas and don't demand feedback. It blows my mind because that's controlled. They know who they're giving codes to. We want to know what you thought about this beta.
Well, I can actually answer that because not all companies treat betas as true betas. A lot of companies actually do market it as early access, and it's exactly what it is. They'll take an absolutely finished portion of the game, chop it up, send it out as a quote-unquote beta, have people play it, and then they'll launch the full game.
That's not a beta, guys. That really is not a beta.
According to some companies, it is, and it's wrong.
It is completely wrong. But yeah. What do I know? I'm just an IT flunky. I this is just a hobby for me. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Ignore me.
Yeah, me neither. I just have a degree in game design. I went to school to do this for a living. I mean,
I know
what
nothing.
Do I fucking know? I don't know a damn thing. Like,
what part of my problem is when I do a review, I do treat it like my job, and I think I do too much writing in them because my forte is technical documentation. I need to be precise. I need to tell you everything that needs to be going on. Maybe I should just make 2-3 paragraph reviews from now on and just crank them out.
Yep, I'm going to do that for my manga reviews this weekend. I'm just like, this manga was good. You should buy it. This manga was not good. You should not buy it.
This guy has a huge sword, and I like the way he looked. He swung the sword a lot and killed a lot of people. I think this is an amazing manga.
There was not enough blood for the amount of sword swinging.
Too much water.
There was too much screen tone.
Oh my god. But seriously, this is not a rant about us not getting access to certain things. Please do not take it that way. It is not that way whatsoever. There's just constructive feedback from people who actually give a damn. And that's as real as we can be.
Yep, absolutely. So on that note, I think we better get it out of here before we, continue to dig ourselves deeper into this little hole.
I'm married. How deep can it go, man? I mean, shit. Sorry, took my phone. She won't bring it back.
Maybe she's off killing it for you, Keith, and it'll finally die.
Low battery. Low battery. I love that thing. I really love that thing. Before we go, I did pick up a couple things this week, or actually a couple things were delivered to me this week that I completely forgot about. The Sekiro strategy guide that I ordered months ago, that finally came in. Really nice guide. I'm going to do a review on it. I don't know how to really do reviews on books anymore, but it has a lot of pretty pictures and it's quality. It's quality. I mean, I don't know what to say. Also, hopefully this podcast has been a lot clearer because I got rid of my mixer and actually picked up a decent preamp, which is something I should have done before. Somebody, I won't name names, told me to get a mixer and totally fed me bogus information. So the preamp apparently is doing a better job. My voice is a lot more crisper, cleaner. So lesson learned on that one. And there was something else that came in. I don't know where the hell it is. It disappeared, actually. Oh, I do have some good news though, Josh. Company reached out to me. Arcade Crew. They are working on a game you may have heard of called Chrome Hit. Wrong game. Blazing Chrome. Too many games called Chrome. They're actually sending out a press kit soon, so we can check that out.
Oh,
so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I've only ever had one press kit, and that was for Layers of Fear, which I gave to somebody who was no longer here.
Well,
so that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I was like, oh, really? Nice. Other than that, you may see some pictures tomorrow. I definitely will be picking up. I don't know if I'm going to pick up a Quest or Rift Quest or a Rift S tomorrow.
Just pick them both up.
The S. No, just get the S.
I can't pick up both.
Just trust me. Trust me. Get the S.
I am not rich. Stop fucking saying.
Don't listen, Diego. Get them both.
When all these exclusives come around and you're not going to be able to play them, you're going to wish you would have gotten the Rift S. And I know you will appreciate the quality of PC VR.
Yeah.
It's just one small tether. At least you don't have to deal with cameras. I had to deal with there's cameras on my desk right now. There's 2 of them. That's not even. I could have 3. 3 is the optimal. You don't have to have cameras. You'll be fine. It's just one.
All right. So I guess I'll be picking up tomorrow. It won't be that expensive. I actually picked up that's what it was. I picked up a Logitech G502 wireless mouse on impulse. I was like, why did I buy this? My mouse is great, and I have a warranty on it, so if it dies, I can just get another one from Best Buy. So that's $150 back for the Rift S.
Yeah,
I'm not completely sold on wireless mice. I like wireless mice, but I'm always fearful I'm going to come in my office one day and my mouse is gone. And it's like, where the fuck's my mouse?
Just look for the low battery signal from it, and you'll be fine.
Kids and stuff in my office, and they shouldn't be touching. But, they come in my office constantly. It's like, stay out of my freaking room. Oh, I just need to get something out of here for you, Daddy. No, stay the fuck out of my room.
Whatever reason, I just can't get behind wireless anything. Like wireless headset, wireless keyboard, wireless mouse. I just can't do it. I have to plug everything in.
I swear by wireless headsets. I'm using one right now. I love wireless headsets. They are great.
I hear wireless VR is pretty cool, too.
I've got 2 wireless headsets, Bluetooth, and the Logitech one, the G933, and I love it. The only thing I hate about it is when you're using it and it doesn't hear a signal for a while and it goes poof and it cuts off, or it doesn't turn off and the battery's drained. But other than that, I love them. I love them. They've gotten better over the years. Not sold on a wireless keyboard. I don't want any latency whatsoever. But the reason why I picked up the mouse is they were saying the latency was even better than the wired. And I was like, how is that possible? But I don't care. It's going back. I need to make my purchase cheaper, so it's going back.
Well, rest in peace. All right.
And I got listen to those idiots at Best Buy tell me, "Oh, you're back again." Yeah.
Yeah, it's that Keith guy again. Must be trading something in. Goddamn.
They love me there. They like, oh look, it's Keith and his wife, and we put on a show every time we go there. It's hilarious.
You should YouTube that then.
I told her we should be recording this and selling this shit.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you so much for listening. For myself, for Diego, for Keith, once again, I'm saying Godspeed to all you out there in Radio Land. See you next week, guys. Peace.